Yurik Sarkisian of the Soviet Union at 132 pounds was the winner in 1983. Blagoi Blagoev of Bulgaria weighs nearly 200 pounds and was the 1981 and the 1982 champion. But Naim Suleimanov from Bulgaria is only 17 years of age. He has become the new wonder boy of weightlifting. He already holds 2 world records in the 123-pound class. They'll be competing today to see who is the world's strongest man, pound for pound.
Spanning the globe to bring you the constant variety of sport, the thrill of victory, and the agony of defeat. The human drama of athletic competition. This is ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers. Reach for that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. By Delta Faucet. When it's on, it's on. When it's off, it's off. Its washerless design helps keep it from dripping. Delta Faucet, they're first because they last. And by the Gates Rubber Company. For over 60 years, the world leader in automotive belts and hoses.
For the World Cup Weightlifting Championship.
Sarajevo, Yugoslavia lies in this beautiful valley. It has emerged as a mixture of cultures and religions of Europe and the Middle East. This is the Old Town section, which was built by the invading Turks more than 450 years ago. In 1878, Sarajevo was conquered by the Austro-Hungarians, and the main post office reflects that architecture. Today, Sarajevo is a bustling city which has grown to over 450,000 people. Just as it met the challenge of putting on the Olympic Games, it is now set to meet the challenge of revitalizing its economy. Its many Olympic facilities will be put to good use year-round. Kosevo Soccer Stadium, where the Olympic ceremonies took place, and the Zetra Speed Skating Oval, used in the off-season for tennis and roller skating. Hello, everybody. I'm Bob Beatty at the Zetra Ice Arena here in Sarajevo. This was the site for ice hockey and figure skating during the Olympics. Well, we won't be seeing either of those sports today. We're here for the World Cup Weightlifting Championship. 11 of the top international weightlifters are here. All are either former record holders or current record holders or medalists from the Los Angeles Olympics. It's also a rare chance, one they get once a year, to compete against each other regardless of their weight class. Here's how it works. Each weightlifter in his own weight class will try to get as close to the world record in that particular weight class. The one who gets the closest percentage-wise will be the winner. As an example, we're looking at last year's winner, Yurik Sarkisian of the Soviet Union. He'll be lifting in the 132-pound weight class, and let's say his score today is 90% of the world record in that class. On the other hand, Blagoi Blagoev, one of the greatest weightlifters of all time from Bulgaria, lifts in the much heavier 198-pound class. Unless he can lift closer to the world record in that class, percentage-wise, than Sarkisian did in his, then Sarkisian would beat him. Traditionally in weightlifting, the heavier lifters seem to get all the attention. They're kind of the glamour boys of the sport. But today, the lighter ones get their chance as well. Well, working with us, our weightlifting expert who'll help us understand some of this, Bruce Wilhelm. Bruce, now, how about some of these lighter lifters?
Actually, the most fantastic lifter is this new one, Naim Suleimanov from Bulgaria. He lifts usually in the 123-pound class, but today he'll be lifting the 132, and he is fantastic. He just turned 17. He's clean and jerk triple body weight at 123 pounds, and he is someone to really be reckoned with, a fantastic lifter.
In competitive weightlifting, there are 2 different types of lifts, the snatch and the clean and jerk. 3 attempts in each. The best attempt in each to count for the total. In this competition, the winner is the person who totals the highest percentage of the world record in his weight class. Coming up is the second attempt in the snatch lift. This is Yurik Sarkisian of the Soviet Union, who was the winner last year. Weighed in today at 132 1/4 pounds, right at the weight limit. He'll be attempting 281 pounds. He's already lifted 270 pounds in his first attempt. If he makes this, this would be for 91% of the world record, which is 308 pounds. So he's getting right up there, Bruce.
He sure is, but he should really have no problem making this lift, Bob, since he does have a best of 308.5 pounds. He's quite an efficient lifter, too. You'll notice he has pretty good technique.
Yurik Sarkisian, 23, exactly 5 feet tall. He's been on the Soviet team since he was 17. He's now 23 years old. That buzzer meaning there's 1 minute to make the lift.
Puts that lift away pretty easily. Not much problem there.
Yurik Sarkisian of the Soviet Union. Pretty good lift for him, Bruce.
Not bad, but still quite a ways under his best. We'll take a look at him in slow motion here. Shoulders well over the bar. He hits the bar a little bit hard on his upper thigh, swings it out, but he catches it very nicely. Has it in a slot over his shoulders, well over his head. Good lift.
And coming up now, as we mentioned earlier, the wonder boy of weightlifting, only 17 years old, Naim Suleimanov of Bulgaria.
It's really incredible, Bob, to see a kid this young lifting these kind of weights. Here he's out here attempting a new world record in this, and this is also the first time that he's lifted in the 132-pound class, so he's actually moved up a body weight category.
He's only 4 foot 8 inches tall. He's going to be attempting 309 3/4 pounds for a new world record in only his second attempt in this category, the snatch lift. World record, 308.5 pounds by his countryman, Tempura.
You can see right here those red discs are 18 inches tall, so you can see that he really is quite short.
He's taking a lot of time over the bar.
Intense concentration. Remember, he's not really a seasoned competitor. Many lifters have lifted for 5, 6, 7 years. This man's just starting out.
Tremendous program for youngsters in Bulgarian weightlifting. For a world record.
Well, nice lift, easily done. Beautifully done. Look, it barely clears his head. He has tremendously short arms.
Naim Suleimanov of Bulgaria, only 17 years old, has broken the world record, and he still has another attempt in the snatch. 309 3/4 pounds. Bruce, it's amazing. We were told that Suleimanov was going to come out and try to break some world records, but this early?
Let's take a look at it in replay. We see his shoulders well over the bar. He has a nice, smooth, controlled pull. He moves very fast and very quickly under the bar. The bar barely clears his head, as you can see here. He stands up with it quite easily.
And he really puts a lot of pressure on the other competitors, including this man, Blagoi Blagoev, also of Bulgaria, who won in 1981-82, and who is warming up with 400 pounds.
The more things cost, the better they are.
The Olympic champion in 1980, world champion in 1982. He'll be attempting 374 3/4 pounds. This will be for 93% of the record in the 181-pound class. We might mention that there are 3 referees in weightlifting. Each will punch up white lights if it's a good lift in their estimation, red lights for a bad one. It'll take 2 white lights to signify a good lift.
Good pull, moves under the weight well. Nicely done lift, Bob, no problem at all.
It's amazing how quickly he lifts 374 pounds overhead. Asen Zlatev of Bulgaria started lifting weights when he was 11 years old, only 4 foot 8 inches tall, weighed only 60 pounds then. Started so he could get bigger.
What we can see here is tremendously strong pull. He stands tall, moves under the bar well, but he also bends his elbow a little bit, which is an infraction of the rules, and if the referee sees this, this is a cause for disqualification.
And coming up next, one of the greatest weightlifters of all time, Blagoi Blagoev of Bulgaria. Before he lifts, though, let's meet him up close and personal with Jack Whitaker.
For most of the year, the lovely port town of Varna is left to its own peaceful ways. The tourists are gone, and the beaches are quiet. Blagoi Blagoev has made his home here. He, like his son and like their neighbors, enjoy the relative calm and the more familiar faces of the off-season in Varna. Much of this extraordinary strength comes from the close relationship he has with his wife Nina and their son Dmitry. Even his mother Karushka and his father Dmitry attend virtually all of his competitions. While watching him compete, they literally feel in harmony with their son the pain and the surge in those agonizing moments of the lift.
I cannot prevent my family from feeling nervous when I compete. It is natural to feel that way about someone who is close to you.
The 12 years of training and competition, his preparation in every detail, have given Blagoev extraordinary grace under pressure. His parents, helpless on the sidelines, are left only with the tension of the moment. Watch his mother, Karushka, now in the last seconds before her son attempts to lift almost a quarter of a ton. Her head bowed, her hand clutching her brow, unable even to look. A three-time world-class champion since winning the silver medal at the 1980 Games, Blagoev, like all men of great achievement, finds precious little time for the simple things which sustain him. Several times a month, he must travel the 12-hour journey to Sofia, where he trains with the national team and studies at the Institute of Physical Culture. He and Nina hope someday to have another child, and Blagoev looks forward to the time when the noise and the lights of his celebrity have dimmed, when he'll be free to coach, to raise his children, and to live out his life fulfilled on the peaceful shores of Varna.
Blagoev had some trouble in his early career. In 1976 in Montreal, he was stripped of a silver medal because it was detected that he was using anabolic steroids. Has gone on, though, since then to be three-time world champion. He'll be attempting 407 3/4 pounds, the world record 431 pounds. Lifting in the 198-pound class.
Indeed, he's an awesome-looking athlete. Does move quite swiftly under the bar. Tremendously strong, well-conditioned, too. Pulls very well off the floor. He's under the weight, a little bit out front, shifts and adjusts at the bottom.
Blagoev, 407 pounds. He's only 5 foot 6 inches tall, Bruce. A lot of these lifters seem quite short.
Well, it does give them an advantage in some respects. They're short, they have less distance to move the weight, less distance to pull. You can see here as he pulls the weight off the ground that he pulls it close to the body, moves under it. He doesn't have it very far over his head. Now, if his arms are really long, then you have a much longer distance to pull the weight.
And Blagoev moves into second place behind this man, Suleimanov, who at 17 is 10 years younger than Blagoev, and he'll be lifting for another world record. Coming up next, Bulgaria being attended to by his coach, the great Abajev, head coach of the Bulgarian team. What a great program they have. Suleimanov has already made a world record of 309 3/4 pounds, is now going to lift 314 pounds to better his own world record.
Well, it's really awesome that in his first competition as a 132-pounder, he's moved up a weight category. He's already shattered the world record. He's coming out at an unheard-of weight, 314 pounds, and a good shot at making it. It's just a fantastic lifting we're seeing here.
Only 4 foot 8 inches tall, started lifting at the age of 8.
You know, one of the amazing things about an athlete this young, Bob, is the fact that he hasn't lifted that long, and he has tremendous mental focus, good concentration, and you can see it here in this particular lift.
Okay, Yurik Sarkisian of the Soviet Union missed at 286 pounds. Crowd's a little noisy here.
Absolutely, and this can disturb the concentration. That's what I mean by good mental focus. Tremendous effort. 314 pounds, a fantastic lift by this athlete.
Great lift by Naim Suleimanov. Amazing lifter. Last year at the World Championships in Moscow, a Soviet official thought he was a kid and wouldn't let him in.
Traditional kiss by the Bulgarian coach. Let's look at it here. You see he's very close to the ground, keeps the bar close. You know, it's a real short movement. He moves under it really well. He's a tremendous technician, and he's just incredibly strong. He's an awesome athlete.
And already has 2 world records.
You know, he gathers all of his power. It looks like he's about to erupt. He's like a volcano erupting as he pulls the weight. It's really a tremendous display of strength.
By setting a world record, Suleimanov is way ahead now in the SNATCH competition and is downstairs warming up already for the clean and jerk.
We'll be going back to San Moritz for more of the Cresta Run later, and we'll rejoin the World Cup Weightlifting Championship in just a minute. But first, a look at 3 stars of last year's American Olympic Championship. You're about to see Bulgaria's Naim Suleimanov attempting to lift 3 times his own body weight. It's only been done once before. That was by Suleimanov's countryman Stefan Topurov, who was 19 years old when he did it at the World Championships in Moscow on October 24, 1983. So this would not be an unprecedented accomplishment but it would be historic. Now let's go back to Bob Biatti.
And Sarah will enjoy the ski touring trails. Bob Biatti along with Bruce Wilhelm back here at the World Cup Weightlifting Championship. Here are the current standings. Rather unique format. Competitors are ranked according to how close they lift percentage-wise of the world record in their own weight class. Best attempt of the snatch together with the best attempt of the clean and jerk. Okay, Bruce, here is our current leader, 4 foot 8 inch, 17-year-old Naim Suleimanov of Bulgaria, lifting in the 132-pound class. Second attempt in the clean and jerk, 402 pounds. If he makes this, his total will be 716.5 pounds, and that'll be for a new world record. In the snatch lift, he lifted for 2 world records, made them both.
You know, the really unique thing here, Bob, is the fact that he has moved up the weight category to the 132-pound class, and that he has broken a world record. Normally, when a lifter does move up in a bodyweight category, his weight attempts will go up, but not to world record level in his first competition. We're seeing a really superior lifter here.
Suleimanov, one of the many, many young weightlifters in Bulgaria.
Spends a long time over the bar. Sometimes this is a real problem, but as we've seen earlier, this is one of the characteristics of his lifting.
He'll try to get 402 pounds overhead. There aren't many NFL linemen could do that.
True. Maybe none. Notice a little chalk on his shoulder to keep the bar on his shoulder. Good rack. He's got the weight well across his shoulders. He stands up.
Okay, for a new world record of the total best attempt, clean and jerk, best attempt of the snatch. Overhead now, only to steady down. Suleimanov with his 3rd world record of the competition, and only 17 years old. Tremendous performance by Suleimanov. And by breaking that record, he now is better than 100% of the world record in his weight class. And he's going to be hard to beat.
Here we see him pulling from the floor. Notice a short pull. He racks it. He's just tremendously strong. He stands up with no problem. Here he has to jerk the weight, and we'll notice that he jerks it a little bit out front, but he's so strong that he walks forward under the weight and he recovers. Notice right here, he walks forward. The weight was a little bit out front.
Bruce, what makes this even more phenomenal is the fact that he has just lifted more than triple his own body weight. I mean, it's a remarkable performance.
And he's one of only 2 people who have ever done it.
Asen Zlatev of Bulgaria, lifting in the 181 3/4 pound class. He is currently in 4th place. He'll be attempting 468.5 pounds, and if he can make this, it'll move him into 2nd place with 94.44%. Keeping in mind that Suleimanov has already broken the world record for the total, so he has better than 100%. He's going to be tough to beat.
Got the weight racked across his shoulders real well. He's got a little struggle to stand here. Now he has to jerk it over his head.
468.5 pounds. If he can get it overhead, he'll move into 2nd place.
Good jerk. He had to wedge himself under it.
Only to settle down, and Asen Zlatev of Bulgaria has moved into 2nd place, getting closer and closer to the world record for his weight class. And a red light there.
Sure is. Let's take a look and see what happened here. Got a nice pull right there. We see a little elbow touch. The left elbow touched his knee. That is cause for disqualification.
Okay, it was only 1 red light, though, and he had 2 white ones, so he has got a good lift.
That's right. The head referee, though, is in an excellent position to see it. You'll remember referees are stationed around the platform, so they have a view.
Okay, Zlatev, though, gets away with it, getting the vote of 2 of the 3 officials.
Here we can see it again. We see he's got a really nice pull. He stands tall, pulls hard, moves under the weight well, collapses a little at the bottom. This is where his elbow touches. You can see it graphically illustrated here. Notice the box.
So the head referee here made the right decision. Earlier, Bruce discussed 2 of the causes for disqualification.
In the clean and jerk, the 2 most obvious causes of disqualification are elbow touch and press out. Let's let Simic demonstrate these 2. Here we see him clean the weight. He has an elbow touch. His right elbow touches his knee. This is cause for disqualification. Watch carefully in the jerk portion as he jerks the weight, bends his arms, and re-straightens them. This is called press out and is cause for disqualification.
And getting ready to lift now, Blagoi Blagoev of Bulgaria. He's going to attempt 479.5 pounds, lifting in the 198-pound class. If he makes this, he'll have 96.45% of the world record in his class. And this would put him into second place.
Actually should have no problem this weight, as he has done 503.5 pounds, Bob. He should make it quite easily.
Great lifter, world champion, 1981, 82, and 83.
It's always a pleasure to watch him lift. He's so strong coming out of the clean. And notice he really catches it almost on his fingertips when he comes up. And he has to readjust the bar. Let's see if he does it today. There he is, right on his fingertips. Stands up very strongly.
Oh, and Blagoev cannot get the weight overhead, so Zlatev stays in second place. Suleimanov still in first place. Bruce, let's take another look at that.
Blagoev's always been a tremendous cleaner. He's cleaned world records many times, only to miss the jerk. He doesn't really get the weight to full arm's length. We'll see here that he actually gets the weight up, readjusts his hands, he'll dip his knees, and he drives, but he doesn't drive sufficiently hard enough to toss the weight to arm's length and to wedge himself under the weight. Therefore, the lift is no good.
And so the man who has really dominated weightlifting the past few years is not very happy with himself. Bruce, he's not lifting very well today.
No, he's not. It's really been an up and down year for him, and I know he's not satisfied at all with his results here today.
Okay, here's one man, though, that has been great the last few years. Viktor Solodov of the Soviet Union. He holds the world record in the clean and jerk in the 198-pound class, 513.5 pounds, and also for the total. And here we have, pacing back in the warm-up room, Blagoev, because if Solodov makes this, it'll move him into second place. It'll move Blagoev all the way down into fourth place.
He really should have no problem with his 485 pounds. He is the current world record at 513.5 pounds. He's made tremendous improvement. Last year at the World Championships, he just completely caught everybody off guard when he cleaned 518 pounds, only to miss the jerk and to come back and to make it on a fourth attempt with 507.
Viktor Solodov of the Soviet Union, trying to move into second place behind Suleimanov. And he's got it overhead, only to settle down, which he has. The referee signaled to put the weight down, and Viktor Solodov has moved into second place, lifting 94.67%. Well, that's a good result for Viktor Solodov, but this man, Suleimanov, is our leader and getting ready now to come out and try to lift for even another world record.
You see him here doing 374 3/4 pounds in the warm-up room, which is very important to lift a weight that's near your limit to keep warm, because there's a long wait between lifts.
Attempt in the clean and jerk. Naim Suleimanov, a man who has really electrified the crowd here today. He's already set 3 world records. He's going to be attempting 409 pounds. That would be for a 4th world record. And if he makes that, he will also set a 5th world record for the total. What a performance.
Absolutely. We're seeing a real history made here, Bob. This is a fantastic exploit done by this young athlete. And to think that he's only 17 years of age, it's just awesome.
Suleimanov, actually of Turkish descent.
It certainly is peculiar the way he takes a tremendously long time over the bar. With most lifters, this would tend to cramp up the back as well as the hamstrings or the muscles on the back of the legs. Doesn't seem to bother him.
409 pounds.
Cleans the weight nicely.
Only to get it overhead for 2 new world records.
Short dip, and he rams it over. He's got it.
Looked like he almost lost it, but he has it overhead. Suleimanov, the great Bulgarian, only 17 years old, 4 foot 8 inches tall, 409 pounds for 2 new world records. His 4th and 5th of the competition. What a competition he has had.
It's going to be interesting to see how many records he'll set in the future, because he's only 17. He's got a lot of years left lifting. He doesn't have far to pull the weight. He pulls the weight strongly. He moves under it very quickly, racks it, stands up. Doesn't have far to shove it over his head either. This is one of the benefits of being short. Slight dip at the knees, weight's well over his head. Notice it just clears his head by inches. In this particular case, he moved forward a little bit. The weight was jerked out front. A tremendous effort, 409 pounds. There are really several reasons why this young athlete is such a super athlete. One of them would have to be the fact that he moved up from one weight classification to another. And in his first outing, he set 5 world records. Clean and jerk more than triple body weight. The second thing would have to be the fact that he is so young. At 17 years of age, this is unheard of. He could be a world champion for 10 years to come.
And the third thing is, at this age, he has an intense concentration and focus on competition, which is unbelievable.
And you know, Bruce, even at his young age, a case could be made that he could be the greatest weightlifter of all time right now.
There's no doubt about that, Mark.